Hey guys, Raccoon City Pizza here. So, I wanted to make a video today, guys, that I've been wanting to make for a while now, but I just haven't had the time. And it's going to be me ranking all of the Resident Evil games that I have played, which have been like almost all of them. So, at the end of the video, I will talk about some of the games I haven't played and kind of give my thoughts and opinions on those. And some of these I haven't even beat, admittedly. So, I can't give a full valid opinion on a lot of, well, not a lot of them, but a few of them. So, yeah, just bear with me. So, I don't have a hard copy of the first one, which I'm going to do this, I'm going to try to do this in release order. I think I have them all stacked up in release order. Anyways, starting from the very beginning with Resident Evil 1996. So, that game, I don't have a hard copy of, but I do really like the game. It's what started it all, man. You know, it started a whole new genre. Gotta give mad respects to Capcom for making that game. Yes, there is a lot of cheesy dialogue. Yes, the acting is not the best, but it adds to the charm, you know. And it's a very atmospheric game. It's very weird because it has such a cold and claustrophobic and just weird vibe to it, and I love it. Characterization was good for the time, in my opinion. I like all the quips that Barry Burton says. Everybody does, but good game. I like it. I give it at least a good 8 out of 10, in my opinion. I deduct 2 points because, again, the acting, things like that. Some things don't really hold up well, but overall, I mean, I have to give it respect because for the time period that it came out in, it was revolutionary. So, and it started it all, man. So I have to give it respects. The second one, this is where I have all the hard copies of Resident Evil 2. So this is actually technically my first Resident Evil experience. And I say technically because the only memory I have of my actual father was he brought over his N64 one day to my house and he popped this bad boy in. And, I remember playing it. I remember having fun. I thought it was very cool. But I don't really think I knew what I was getting myself into, so I couldn't really appreciate it, I guess. But I do remember like the liquor. I remember like the hallway full of fire, things like that. And I loved Leon. I thought Leon was very, very cool. So I don't know. I liked it. And obviously now that I'm into the series, I love this game. This is what a sequel should be. And to any kind of game, in my opinion, is that this is a new story set in the same universe, connects very well with the first game, yet is its own entity. And I think that they did everything perfect in this game. I mean, to me, this really is a perfect game, especially a perfect sequel. And it gave us two of the most iconic Resident Evil characters, Claire Redfield, Leon Kennedy. Leon being my favorite game character of all time. So mad respect to Resident Evil 2. It surpassed Resident Evil 1 by a milestone. So, yeah, Capcom, they did amazing with this game. So, it's Resident Evil 2. The next one is going to be Resident Evil 3. So, Resident Evil 3 is one of my favorite Resident Evil games. Top 3, by far. My cousin introduced me to this game and kind of into Resident Evil on a whole, even though, again, technically RE2 already played a few years before or something. But this never actually started to get into the series. I remember watching the first movie, and yes, I know the first movie isn't the best. I get it. But I liked it. And then the second movie came out. And I know we don't like the movies, but again, I'm going to bring this in here for a reason. So whenever the second movie came out, I remember pulling the case off and seeing this guy, seeing Nemesis. And my cousin at the time was also playing this, probably because he was hyped up for the movie, I don't really know. But it made me hyped up for it. And I loved Nemesis. And I loved Jill Valentine. I liked her in the movie too, but I loved her in the game. As an adult, I also liked the symbolic meaning behind Nemesis. I think a lot of people miss. The S.C. Perry novel really goes into this better. I know it's technically not canon, but the novels are still great. It explains that, Nemesis is kind of like a representation of Jill's PTSD from the first game with the Tyrant. And now as an adult, I kind of look at that as a symbolic meaning of really anything. As an adult, you're going to face struggles. So are you going to run away from your problems, or are you going to face them, whether that be financial problems, health problems, mental health issues, whatever. So that's actually another reason why I got it tattooed on my arm, because I love the meaning behind that. I've struggled a lot with mental health issues and other things in life, and not only that, but I just love Nemesis. He's my favorite monster of any kind of horror genre, and I love this game. It definitely feels very apocalyptic. You actually are running around in Raccoon City, and I don't know, it's a great game. Love it. I forgot to rate Resident Evil 2, definitely 10 out of 10, and this game a 10 out of 10 in my opinion as well. So we'll set the music aside. And the next one, Resident Evil Code Veronica. I'm not gonna lie to you, not a fan. I respect this game a lot because of the lore. I respect it a lot of what it did for the story, and it's a shame that that the game fell flat. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I've barely played this game, so yeah, my opinion may not really be the most valid, but there's a reason why I haven't played much of it. I've tried, man. I have tried, and it just annoys me. I kind of want to just push through it someday, maybe look up a guide for a while, and then kind of go from there. But I'm just not a fan. I don't really know what else to say. So if I had to give this a ranking for right now, oh man, it would be a 6 out of 10. I mean, and that's me highballing it. I say 6 because, again, I respect the game. I just don't like it. So I have to give it a 6. I think that's fair. The next one, I think these two kind of came out together, but I'm going to talk about this one first, is Resident Evil 0. So, Resident Evil 0, a lot of people hate this game. It's very controversial, same with Code Veronica over here. I personally don't hate it that much. Now, I haven't beat it. I think I'm about halfway through it. And yes, there are issues. Again, that's kind of the reason why I haven't picked it back up. And I just haven't had time. But I do like this game. It's definitely not a bad game at all. I get that there's no item box. It's kind of annoying, but I personally kind of use the world as my item box in Resident Evil. So if I find an herb on the ground, sometimes, depending on what situation, I'll leave that where it is. So that sometimes it's quicker to run back to that location than all the way across the map to your item box. So that doesn't really bother me a whole lot. But there are some points there that are kind of like choke points, you know. And the problem I had is that it gave you a lot of blue herbs for really no reason, it seems. And then way later on, you kind of need to use them. And that's kind of where I got choked at, unfortunately. But overall, I like it. I like Billy. I like her, and of course Rebecca. I like seeing her more and their dynamic. I gotta give this game a 7 out of 10, man. And I like the expanded lore, so pretty cool. RE0, definitely a good game. Resident Evil 1 Remake, 10 out of 10 by far. This is what a remake should be. Perfect example of a remake, man. They took the first game, didn't change anything, except they overhauled everything with the graphics, better acting, and you know, they threw a lot of extras in there, different game modes, and it still looks beautiful today. Looks absolutely stunning today. It's hard to believe this game came out and never did it, which I think was what, 2002, I believe. It looks gorgeous, and it has an atmosphere that is unmatched. I mean, this is the kind of game you want to play on a stormy night. You know, it's just that atmospheric, and the music, everything. I can't say anything better about this game. It's a perfect survival game, perfect Resident Evil game, and a perfect remake. To me, I compare any kind of game remake to this game right here because it is literally perfect. So love that game. Now the next one, I'm not sure if this is technically next or not as far as the timeline goes, but Resident Evil Dead Aim. Again, I know a lot of people hate this game, and I understand why. It's kind of weird. It's kind of like a third-person game, then it kind of jumps into like a rail shooter. But I like this game. I kind of want to go back and play it again. I think I fiddled with it last year a little bit, and it is kind of weird, kind of finicky, but I think the zombies sound the creepiest in this game, and it kind of reminds me of like if you were on the Titanic or something. It's just very eerie, you know. It's dark. which is pretty cool. It's kind of seeing zombies kind of out in the distance, you know. And they just sound creepy. These zombies actually give me the creeps in this game. And I don't know. I mean, it's kind of a knockoff Leon and Ada. Yeah, man. Dead Aim. Not a bad game. I like it. I gotta give it, even though it does have issues, I gotta give it probably a good 6.5 out of 10. I think that's fair. Sounds good. Now the next one. Woohoo, more the next one. Outbreak. So this game, I wish this game got remade. I love this game so much. Man, it's so good. The fact that you could actually play online with people on the PlayStation 2 is a testament to how great this game is. Now, the kind of problem with that, though, is I think that it was a little bit too ahead of its time. If it came out later on like the 360 or PS3, this game would have been way more popular. But the intro to this game is the best intro by far, in my opinion. And the menu is creepy. You know, the music is so unsettling and disturbing. It creeps me out, man, and I love that. It's so good. And I think it's so cool that you get to go through like some areas from Resident Evil 2, you know, like in the an underground base. The first scenario is still probably my favorite. It's just so cool to get to go through Raccoon City and see the destruction. That's another reason why I love Resident Evil 3 so much. And, you know, my friend and I, which I'm going to bring up this friend of mine a lot because he and I bonded a lot over this game. So I met my friend in kindergarten, and we were friends forever until about like 5th grade. We found that we both had Resident Evil games, so we started playing them together. And he brought this over, and this is actually his own copy he gave me after, you know, we got older. And man, we played the crap out of this, and it was hard, but we figured it out. We beat all the scenarios, and I love this game. I love it so much. And that brings me to Outbreak File 2, and by the way, 10 out of 10 for sure. Outbreak File 2. So, File 2, I've not beaten. I've not played a whole lot of. I kind of want to, but maybe I'm just missing something here, but I'm kind of getting to a choke point in the subway section. I kind of want to try other scenarios and see the zoo scenario. There's a lot to find and things like that, so I kind of feel like it's better if you kind of know what to do. And I'm not sure if I'm just not good at it or if maybe this was meant to be with another player so it didn't take you as long. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, I still love this game though. I can't really give a full opinion on it, but from what I have played, it's just as good as this Outbreak. But I don't know, this Outbreak over here I think has more charm to it. It feels a little bit more connected, whereas these scenarios feel very random in my opinion. So I gotta give this a good, probably 8 out of 10 so far. But I love it though, still. Outbreak File 2, amazing, man. Now, this next one, what do I even say? Resident Evil 4, baby. Again, Tattoo. Favorite game of all time. What can I say? That hasn't been said for now 20 years. I made a whole video over why this game means so much to me, if you want to go check that out. So this game, it has the perfect mix of action and horror to me. Yes, I know it's not as scary as some of the other games. They kind of focus more on action, but I love this game. My friend and I, we played this so much on the PlayStation 2. I mean, we unlocked everything, man. We nailed this game. But the first time I ever got introduced to it was through my cousin I was telling you guys about earlier. And ironically, this is where my love for Resident Evil really started. I already talked about with RE3 this movie. But if you look inside this case, though, you see this inside. Promoting the upcoming Resident Evil 4 video game. And I know he was excited. And I got pretty excited, too. And he had the GameCube, bought the game. I watched him play it. And I loved it. Instantly loved it. I remember playing outside, pretending I was Leon, you know? I loved it so much. And then I got a PS2. And I got to play it for myself a few years later, especially with my friend. I was hooked. And I've played this game so much. I mean, I have it here. Where else do I have it? I got some copies over here. Even though I've not really got to play it much, because my Wii's kind of messing up. I got it on the Wii. I have it on the PS4/PS5. I've also got it here on the Switch. I have it on the Quest 2 and on the Xbox 360. There's just no hard copies of those two versions. I've played it throughout my entire life, and I don't plan to stop. Resident Evil 4, perfect game in my opinion. Even if you don't like Resident Evil, you still need to play this game. It is just so fun. And not too scary. If you're a big scaredy cat, it's actually not too bad. There are some parts that probably will scare the crap out of you, but it's fun. I love it. Resident Evil 4, 11 out of 10. But yeah, 10 out of 10 for sure. Love that game, man. So the next one, Umbrella Chronicles. Again, my Wii, the sensor's kind of messed up on it, so I barely got to play this any at all. Kind of messed around with it. But from what I have played a little bit of and seen some videos on it, I love the expanded lore we get. And it's very arcadey. It really does feel like you're at the arcade in your home, and I love that. So yeah, it's very cool. I do appreciate this game. I just can't really give it a rating. So, I mean, for the expanded lore and everything, maybe 6 out of 10. I don't really know. I can't quite say. I've not played enough of it to really give my opinion. But from what I did play, I actually had more fun than I thought. So I do think a 6 out of 10 is pretty fair because it's an on-rail shooter. So not really the best, but still good. I like it, man. Next one is Resident Evil 5. So again, my friend and I, so pumped for this game to come out. And then we found out it was going to be co-op. We were so excited, man. And yeah, we spent on this game a lot. I don't even know how many hours we played. He would come over, we'd play this game till midnight, if not later. And I mean, man, what a game. What a game. We loved it. However, even as a kid, I thought it was kind of weird for Resident Evil. It was way too actiony. Way too actiony. And I didn't like how they copied and pasted ideas from 4 that made no sense. Why is there another chainsaw guy, for example? Why do we have the JJ enemy yet again? I don't see any lore reason. It was just a coincidence, I guess. When in the real world, they were just trying to copy and paste RE4 and see what happened. So, and don't get me wrong, it sold extremely well. This was the highest selling RE game for a long time. And honestly, it's a perfect co-op game. I don't think it's the best Resident Evil game, though. With that said, I got to give it a 7 out of 10. I have played this some recently, and I've enjoyed myself. It's a very fun game. There is some frustrating things in it, but overall, I like it. It's just, and it feels a little bit too long, in my opinion. Some things just kind of feel thrown in there. I do like some of the added lore, though. I do love seeing the origin of like the progenitor virus, things like that. And it's cool to actually get to see James Marcus in there. But with that said, we're going to talk about this guy next. Resident Evil 6. Resident Evil 6, screw you, I hate you. This game is awful. Absolutely awful. I was even more excited for this game than I was 5. I was excited to finally get to see Leon back and get to see him beside Chris Redfield. Man, perfect. And it looked like an end-of-the-world type of scenario, and it looked so interesting. But boy, oh boy, this game fell flat. It is more fun with a friend, but it's just, the controls are bad, the story's awful. Talk about an action game. But even just as an action game, it's horrible. I hate this game. Hate this game. I've tried to play it again. I want to get more achievements on this game, but I can't. And I love achievements. I love to get platinum trophies on games I like, but I hate this game. It's so bad. I don't even know if I want to even try to play it anymore. I hate it that much. The next one, though, we do get a little bit better, though. We do get a little bit better. We have Revelations. So, I've not beat this. I've played about half of it, and I'm not going to lie to you, not really a big fan. I have heard this was better on the original system it came out on, which I think was it a DS? Some kind of handheld gaming console, can't remember. And I can see it being more enjoyable on a handheld console. But I don't know. I mean, it's I love Jill, so it's cool to get to play as Jill again, and it's really cool to get to see her and Chris also look after the events of Raccoon City. You know, not too long after that. So that's cool. But I don't know. It's just The plot, it doesn't really do it for me. It's cool you're on the ship and all, but I don't know. I'm just not really the biggest fan of it. Now, this is a horny-ass game, by the way. Why is it that we have so many weird things in this game, man? You're introduced to Jill just chest first. You get, what's her name? The chick with Chris saying, me and my sweet ass will be on our way. Her, like, pant leg being ripped off, and you see, like, her underwear and stuff. Like, what were they thinking with this game? And the enemies, some of them, like, suck on you and stuff. This is just, whoever made this game, they were thirsty, is all I'm saying. Revelations, I gotta give it a 6.5 out of 10, personally. It's not my favorite. Revelations 2, though. This one I've not played much at all. I have streamed it with Project Wesker. If you guys want to go check out that video, you can. Great guy, great channel. Way better than mine. I like this one more, though. It is kind of weird. There are some things that kind of give me Silent Hill vibes in a way. Like the rusty type of, like, surroundings. But I do love getting to see Barry Burton again, and to actually get to play as Barry for the first time, which I think was the first time, at least, I think, was very cool. So far I liked it, though. I liked it a lot. I do know, of course, the story, things like that, and how it turns out. I gotta give this a good, probably still, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. I think it's a good 7 out of 10. I like it. I like it way more than the first Revelations, in my opinion. But again, that 7 out of 10, I can't really solidify that. Now we're going to kind of take another back seat, and that is Operation Raccoon City. So I was excited for this game because I thought it was going to be so cool to get to play as Hunk. Hunk was my third favorite character. Always has been, probably always will be. And I thought it was going to be so cool to get to go back to Raccoon City again, especially in updated graphics. Again, my friend and I, we spent so many hours in this game, and don't get me wrong, I know people hate this game. I have fiddled around with it some in the recent past, and honestly, hot take here, but I don't hate this game. Now, one thing I don't like is that's not canon. That's just something with my OCD I don't quite like, but it's fun. I think it is cool to get to see the updated areas of the original games. It is fun with somebody else. Single player, though, is not as fun, but with a friend, it is way more fun, in my opinion. I mean, it is a little bit too long. The scenarios are, in my opinion. Definitely action-oriented, for sure. I think it's more so of a guilty pleasure of mine. But I have to give it a 6 out of 10, even though I like it. It's not a good Resident Evil game, and honestly, it's a kind of rough game in itself. So I think a 6 out of 10 is the highest I can go on it. If I didn't like it, probably a 5 out of 10. But I'm a little bit biased, to be honest. So I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. But whenever it came to RE6, like most people, I fell off, man. Operation Raccoon City was kind of the nail in the coffin, and I just stopped playing Resident Evil for a lot of years for the first time in my life, basically. Until this guy released. Resident Evil 7. Love this game. I haven't played it in a long time, but I kind of need to. Because it's good. Not really the biggest fan of Ethan, especially in this game. There's really not a whole lot of character to Ethan. But I do like it. Chad Baker, I still think is probably the creepiest stalker type of enemy we get. I think that the original Nemesis was scarier, but he is creepy. If that makes any sense. Him talking to you, things like that, it's just, oh man, it's disturbing. And it does feel very Resident Evil. It feels new, but it definitely is a Resident Evil. Through and through. I love the callbacks to the original game, like especially RE1, all kinds of little nods there, like the shotgun type of thing, we get that letter from Melissa and Outbreak, which I loved. The only thing I don't like about this game is the boat section. I hate the boat section. Other than that, I really, really, really like this game. I think that it's definitely an 8 out of 10, if not a 9 out of 10. Just the things I don't like about it is the lack of enemy variety. All the enemies are kind of the same. It is a little weird for Resident Evil. There are some supernatural-ish things that kind of strange, but that, you know what? I got to give it a good 8.5 out of 10 because it also has a lot of content too. It has a lot of really cool extra game modes. So like Jack's 55th birthday, I think is what it's called. A lot of fun actually. I like that. So yeah, Resident Evil 7, 8.5 out of 10. This one though, this one is what really got me back into the series. Resident Evil 2 Remake. So at this time, I moved out of my mom's house. I got an apartment for the first time. So I was out on my own. I got an apartment with my now ex. And I spent so much time playing this game. So much time. I don't really buy games brand new. This is the first brand new game I bought in years. I remember I was like, I don't want to spend $70 on a game. And my ex, she was like, nah, go ahead and get it. Just, if you don't get it, I'm going to get it for you. So I was like, all right, screw it. So I bought this the night that my now ex-brother-in-law came over. And I remember I played it a little bit, but I didn't want to be rude, so I didn't play it that night. But the little bit I did play, though, I loved it. And never actually got to sit down and fully play it. I fell in love with this game, man. I don't even know how many hours I put into it, honestly. This was like the only game I played for probably a good year, honestly. It was just so good. I remember getting the platinum trophy for the game, and I spent so much time on that too. The platinum for this game can be pretty hard, honestly. But this game is packed full of content. Such a good remake. Such a good remake. And I was also 21 around this time, so it was cool to actually get to go to the liquor store, come home, drink a little bit, and play this game. So that was cool. RE2 Remake, I still love this game. 10 out of 10 for me. One of my top 3 favorites, I have to say. This next one, though, Resident Evil 3 Remake. Oh, Resident Evil 3 Remake. Why did you do what you did? Don't get me wrong. Whenever this game came out, I liked it. So this was actually a wedding gift from a friend of mine, and maybe the bad game was a testament to what would be my bad relationship. I don't know, but while my marriage is in the past, this is not, and I wish it was. This game, it's just, I will say it's a very fun game. It's actually a really good Resident Evil game. But it is a horrible dog turd excuse of a remake. And it breaks my heart how much they dropped the ball with this game. They took Nemesis and they just neutered him like a dog. I remember playing RE2 Remake and thinking, man, if Mr. X is like this, Nemesis is going to be so much scarier. And they just fell flat. I mean, I beat this game within a few hours and I was like, that's it? That's it? Man, just it disappoints me. It's fun, very fun, but they just screwed up, man. They screwed up so bad on that game, and it's a shame because they could have made that game so good, and they didn't. They cut out mercenaries, cut out the clock tower, and they just screwed up. Next one, though, Resident Evil 8. So for a while, this is one of my favorites, and I think it's because they reminded me so much of RE4, like with the mechanics. But after the dust settled, though, my opinion changed. So I remember kind of hearing the leaks. I think that's actually the first time I started to at least watch some of the Residents of Evil, who they're members I've now made good friends of. And I love that channel, my favorite YouTube channel. You know, I was excited for the leaks, and they were true. You know, they were mainly true. I thought it was going to be very cool to see Ethan again. I remember seeing Chris be evil, and I was like, "Ooh, what's this about?" But you know, it's just it's not a game I really want to go back and replay, man. I mean, I've beaten it several times. I got the platinum trophy. But after you beat it, I just don't really see a whole lot of replayability. I mean, yes, there's mercenaries, things like that, which is great. Don't get me wrong, there is content. It just, I don't know, it's kind of boring to me. The Four Lords or whatever, I didn't really care for them. Lady D was great, but Miranda, I didn't care about. Didn't care about Heisenberg. Didn't care about Monroe. Didn't care about Donna Beneviento, I think there's her name. I can't remember what her name is. I think that's how you say it. Didn't care about them. They hyped up Lady D, and she's barely in the game. And it sucks, man, because Lady D was so interesting. But I don't hate this game. It's still a good game. Don't get me wrong. Ethan, he had way more characterization in the game, but then he dies. And the DLC, I liked it. It is scary. I was happy to see a third-person perspective again. But, man, that's a weird DLC for Resident Evil. Way too supernatural-ish. So, Village, I gotta give it a 7 out of 10. Maybe on a good day, 7.5 out of 10. Because, again, it is a good game. It is a very good game. It's just a very awkward Resident Evil game. So, last but certainly not least, where we are at right now, RE4 Remake, 10 out of 10. To me, this game battled the first spot between my favorite game of all time, being the original 4 and this one. And I still think the original 4 is my favorite, just because it was the original. I have more memories with it, and it has a cheese factor to it I love. I think it's more of a fun game, kind of. It's more entertaining, I have to say. This is definitely just as fun, I think. I just think that the original is a little bit more entertaining, I guess. It's kind of hard to say. This is more serious and grounded, which I love. I love serious and grounded things as well. Yeah, I just don't think it has the same soul, you know? But at the same time, it doesn't mean it's soulless by any means. This game is a love letter to the original Resident Evil 4. So many Easter eggs, so many little touches I still love and appreciate about this game. And, man, I don't know what to say. Like, it's just so good. The parry mechanic is amazing. I remember being a little bit worried at first because I was like, they're going to make the game a little bit too easy. But no, not at all. Especially on professional. Very challenging. Love this game. And the added lore is so good. I remember taking a half day off work for this game. I came home and I played it for hours on hours end. And, you know, again, even though that I am no longer married, my ex even loved this game. I mean, we fought over the controller with this. And I love it. Love it. I think I have like 150 hours in this game. Like, I love it, man. So good. RE4 Remake. You are beautiful. So that's it for all the hard copies I have. Now, there are some games I haven't played. One of them being, it was the Dark Side Chronicles. Very similar to the Umbrella Chronicles. Yeah, kind of talk. The Umbrella Chronicles over there. Same opinion. I do like how we got to see Operation Javier from RE4. I like the added lore, things like that. But on-rail shooter, it's fun, but, you know, kind of iffy for Resident Evil. So I still got to give it probably the same score as Umbrella Chronicles. I think that was a 6.5 out of 10. I didn't ever get to play Survivor. I like, again, some of the added lore and whatnot, but I know it's kind of weird. You know, it's kind of first person, things like that, and it's an old game. I gotta say maybe a 6 out of 10, just from what I've seen. But that's a very loose score, man. I can't really judge it because I've not really even seen a whole lot of it. Then there was, what's the one where it's you're on a boat and it's like an old pixelated game? I can't remember the name of it. Anyways, I think he plays Barry in that game. So technically, I think that's the first game he plays Barry. I don't care for it. To me, it's a 3 out of 10. I mean, it's a very finicky game. Doesn't look very fun. I've never played it. Don't really plan to, honestly. Then we have Umbrella Corps. That was barely even a Resident Evil game. 0 out of 10. That was awful. That looked like trash. I don't want to play it. I don't want it. What a horrible looking game in general, man. No thank you. What else have I not played? Let's see. I think that's about it. I can't think of any other ones off the top of my head. If I'm missing any, let me know. But that's my opinion, though, guys. Let me know what you think. What are your opinions? Drop a comment below. Tell me what you rate these games, and ones you haven't played. If you have somewhat of an opinion, let me know. But these are mine. Resident Evil, favorite game series of all time. As you can tell, has been with me all my life, and hope it is for the rest of it. I love this game, man. What can I say? So, thank you all for watching. I'll catch y'all in the next video.